Hi everyone, it's Pedro Bias, Go for Glory Stable. Today is July 20th, 2026, and this is the update for last week and what's going on for the previous week, for the future week. As usual, please let us know if you have any comments or like or subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel to grow. So, all right, let's jump into uh, we're gonna jump into just kind of overall news. So, um, there's a lot going on right now. So just so you all know, there's just a lot going on in general. So meaning like we got a lot of horses racing, a lot of babies starting to hit the track, which is what we've been saying. We got new horses, new horse debuting today. We have I think Charlie's on vacation. I think he's over in Cape Cod enjoying himself, and or Rhode Island, one of those, or in New England. Pretty sure it's Cape Cod. And then we have Bob Fidanza. He's in, I think he's in the Atlantic somewhere in Iceland. So, and a lot of people are on vacation. So, with that being said, there's a lot going on right now. So, the good thing is the the good thing is, um, this is like our showtime. So this is prime racing season. So it's getting crazy right now. So anyway, so um that's kind of like where we're at overall, which is crazy racing right now. Um, Hambletonian, August 8th, Saturday, daytime, August 8th. So that's still out there. Um, Charlie, I know he's getting all that set up right now. It's probably gonna be the same um those tables that we had under the tent. If you remember the people who went last year, that tent that was next to the DJ, where hopefully the DJ is not right next to us, but if it is, so be it. Hopefully it's not as loud as last year. But yeah, that tent is huge because that it gives us a space to kind of bring back food and stuff, bring back drinks and have a place to away from the sun and if it's raining or whatever, away from the rain too. So yeah, so we got those tables reserved. So that's where it looks like it's going to be. Um, Obviously, there's most people kind of pop in and out. So some people kind of hang around in those tents the whole time, which is kind of what I do a lot. Um, s- Obviously, there's tons to do on Hambletonian Day. So by all means, don't feel like you have to stay in those tents. You can pop in, pop out, do whatever you want. So we do have a place where people can go to kind of um, get a break. Because you'll see, if it's really hot. Um, it's tough to get a break sitting baked in the sun. So, or you can go inside, but then there's usually not a lot of seats inside. So anyway, that's Hambletonian. We're talking Hambletonian today, getting a little ahead of myself, but that's a few weeks from now. Um, Auction. So we have an auction, Golf of Glory auction coming up, online auction. So right now we're still planning for August 1st, Saturday, August 1st. We'll keep you posted if there's any changes from that, but that's where we're leaning for that right now. Gear. Charlie sent an email out for gear, so I think most people have already responded. So that's that. Um, and the statements. So right as we speak, the June statements are being sent out, emailed out by Michael Puzo and Puzo at goforglorystable.com. So just make sure it's being sent out today. So just make sure you check your spam and things like that. Uh, just so you know, just make sure in case it goes in there, spam or junk. All right, let's get into the horses. So that's the um, I'm just trying to think. That's the update overall. Yeah, that's the update overall. So let's jump right into the horses. So the first horse is Adios My Lindy, and so we have a lot going on. So I'm gonna kind of jump right into these. This helps me to see all the action. Um, all right, so 13th. Look at this. We got a lot. Just got too much going on. So the day of the okay. Adios. She got the win, 14th. So let's take a look at her. Adios. So she's the three horse right here with Brett Beckwith. And Brett, just so everybody else knows, Brett, yeah, he's obviously done a great job for us. He's been the leading driver at Plain Ridge. I want to say, or he was leading driver last year, or tied with Bruce Ranger, one of those things. But yeah, there he is. There's Adios sitting third, and she's pushing off the gate. And we always knew she can push off the gate, but right there, you see how like she kind of you see like that little hop right there. So that kind of scared me a little bit because when she pushes off really fast, that's when we've seen her break, and it's usually speed breaks. She's that's just how she is. She does speed like that horse that just broke right there, the one. That's kind of like what she would do, like just a random speed break because she's trotting too fast. But there she is sitting third, 1-9 shot. I mean, so this race actually was like a gift from the heavens. As far as like the class, they put together a class of like non-winners of three. So she was racing versus older horses, non-winners 3,000 last five, stuff like that, and beating them. So this was versus they filled a class of just non-winners of three versus younger horses, horses truly with only two wins. So if she can crush older horses with, conditioned horses, and yeah, obviously this year she should be 1-9. So Brett's just kind of hanging out there. That 56 and one first half was a little bit more. That was a pretty juicy first half. So that's why that four on the lead. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure the four starts backing up through the field. Maybe, unless I'm thinking about a different horse. Um, yeah, that four is actually fighting pretty good. Might be thinking somebody else. But yeah, no, 56 and one in this level is pretty quick for trotters. You'd see that for pacers. So that's why I was a little surprised that four held up. That four put that type of half in. So there she is. She pops out over to the front, and that's Adios. She's just cruising by. So, but you see how the big thing here is you see how she's doing it so easy, and you see how like it's just step by step by step by step. There's no like 54 flat. Goodness gracious, 54 flat without trying. That means if she actually tries, she could have probably done 53 and change. 53 and change on a 5/8. You're talking um right below the open that plane ridge, as far as the trotter. The trotters can go 52 as we've seen. Um, but yeah, she can do 53 and change, and she's taken a really significant step forward where I'm just talking about like as a conditioned horse. She would be like the way she's rolling right now, she'd just be a straight she would be on her own right now, like an upper level conditioned trotter at Plainridge. So she's take that's and we saw glimpses last year, so this was nice to see. So she's taking a nice step forward. She's racing today, later today, so we'll see how that goes. She'll be pushing off the gate, and we'll see what happens. So she will be in the mix, even from the seven post. She and she this will probably be her last race. Last race. She'll skip, meaning she'll skip next week. She's definitely skipping next week after this. And then we'll kind of see what's next. But she's mainly going to be doing overnight. So like even though she's skipping next week, I don't think for her, I don't think it's going to be a long. I think it might just be 1 week. Because she's basically going to be doing a lot of overnights until um Massachusetts in September. But yeah, she's really so everyone on Adios, you got you guys and gals. She's worked out pretty well. She's taken a nice step forward. So the patience was key with her. All right, Adios, My Lindy, that was her. All right, let's do Beaueastel. He raced on Saturday and at Tioga from the eight post, which he was the favorite from the eight post, but still, you don't want to. Obviously, the eight post is better at Tioga than Yonkers or Saratoga, half mile tracks, but still, you don't want to. Well, we knew we were dropping down, and when we saw the eight, I was like, oh, course. But and then, so we knew we were blasting out, and this part right here, to me, is the biggest deal. When I say the biggest deal, meaning he didn't break. So you see how the horse is kind of gassing it. He is rolling. He's cooking right now. He's cooking to grab that pocket. And he didn't break. He didn't look like he was going to break. So that was great. So that was that to me that was I don't want to say won the race, but that got us into position where we could win the race, if we can beat that seven. So that seven, with Dan Daly, just that seven's a good horse. So Fringed is a crazy wow open trotter at uh kind of flips between Saratoga and Vernon Downs with Dan Daly. Fringed was a really good Excelsior trotter at 2 and 3 in New York. We raced against him with Skybox, I want to say. And yeah, so he's a good horse. So he's been good since he was two. So that seven, he deserves to be even money. Bowistel's good too. Not saying Bowistel's bad. He's solid. He's rock solid. And that's this right here, with Boy still just sitting second, following that seven. I like the way that he stayed with him. So you see, he's motoring right now. So right now, Bowie is flying. He's flying to stay with that seven. Um, he looks good. He's not a flashy horse. I think people fall in love with some of these other horses we have that might be a little bit more flashier. Nola flying off the gate, Nola and Soho flying off the gate. Um, Uncle Rat with his come from behind stuff. Bowie still he's just a solid racehorse. So there he is. He's following that seven. He's finishing strong. He's gonna be a clear second place, holding off those other horses. And he was good. He was really good. I think he went in 50. So he probably what 55 and one on a wet track. I think I want to say it was wet track. Maybe not wet. I can't recall, but still excellent. So Bowie's still doing great. He'll be back in the box tomorrow. He's a horse that you kind of race every week. He's just no vet. He basically got no vet bills. He basically got no. He basically he's set Tioga, so he just walks to the track. So yeah, he's taking a nice step forward. So very happy with Bowie still. All right, Beetlejuice Blue Chip. Let's do Beetlejuice, and he raced. I think we covered his last race, the win at Vernon Downs. So he's next up at he is next up at uh today, Monticello. So probably within an hour or so he'll be going. So that's Beetlejuice, and let me see, he's at 250. So yeah, he's been he's been a real pleasant surprise. So just it doesn't always work like that. You get a $15,000 yearling, and they become one of the better Excelsior horses. But that's why we do the yearling game, because anything's possible. So that's why we do it. And it's not like we picked him out of nowhere either. There was a lot of good things to like about him, and that's what we look for. We look for value. We don't, it's easy to buy obvious yearlings. Those are the ones that are most expensive. You do your homework, and you can get some of these value horses like that. That's what we like to see. So yeah, so he's doing great. So he's racing today. We'll see what happens. All right, Beyond the Rules. All right, Beyond the Rules. So her mouth is doing better, as far as the bit sore that she was dealing with. So her mouth is doing better. She's still, it's more of a mental thing with her. And like the people on Beyond the Rules, we dealt with this with Adios My Lindy last year, where Beyond the Rules right now is physically she's sound, nothing wrong with her from that, but mentally she's still a little hot, fighting Paul a little bit. So she's just been jogging, I think like 5 miles a day, pretty much in a quiet track. So that's pretty much going to be the plan with her for next week. Also, is just jogging, and with her, she's mass eligible, so just keep that in mind. We got all of Massachusetts in September and October. Not saying we're gonna wait for that, but I'm just saying we got don't get hung up that she's in New York and not doing the New York, because she has Massachusetts, and that's her primary target. That's why she was so expensive. Massachusetts is the place to be, especially when you got a good one. So that's her story. Her big thing is just get her to calm down. So Paul's just working with her, jogging slowly, just with no other horses on the track, and he's just trying to get her to relax. So that's going to be the storyline for her for the next week. Um, and like I said, we dealt with it last year with Audio, so just hang in there. We'll see what the update is next week, and hopefully, hopefully this is one of those things where hopefully over time, it's all of a sudden she just starts kind of like it starts to click, where it's like, all right, the driver and trainer, they're not out to hurt me, they're out to help me. We're just racing. Yeah, and she understands her job. So let's just hang in there. Um, and Paul's working with her, and mainly it's just to get her to calm down and just relax and trust the driver. So um, that's going to be the plan for her for this week, pretty much, and which was the same as last week. So that's Beyond the Rules. Checking out talent. He is in the box right now today for Saturday at Poconos. So we'll see what we got Tyler Buter. So we listed Tyler Buter. We'll see if we get him. Um, Good horse too. He came out. He might not have liked that first over move that he did. By the way, those horses were good horses. I think he did. We got him on the video, last week's video. So those were good horses. So it wasn't like he was facing slouches. It was unusually difficult non-winners 5,000 race. Um, that's Poconos for you. But we'll see. We'll see how he draws, and then kind of go from there. But he's a good horse. He just, that was a little tough going first over like that. He hasn't done first over a lot down in Australia, so they race completely differently. And that move, I don't know if he's ever done that in his entire life. First over. So there's also that component as well to keep in mind. But yeah, so he's in today. We'll see what happens, see where he gets. Coach Brooks, he trained on Friday last week in 209, about a 10, 105, 106 back half. 10, yeah, 106, 106 first half. So he finished in like 104, 105, which is good. Just solid. Nothing in the race bike. I think they went in 209, like I said, 209 in total, which they only need I think you only need to go like 208 or something on a Vernon Downs to qualify or something like that, 210. So in other words, they're going qualifying speed anyway in training. So I'm getting that. So he's been doing better in that regard. His thing is the only thing with him is his hobbles. He was wearing hobbles and they were just a little bit too short, too tight. Um, as far as like lengthwise. So like he wasn't able to reach out fully on the stretch. Like it kept kind of like impeding him. So Paul ordered a new hobbles, so they're coming in the mail. Um, and he's gonna try those. He's gonna put those puppies on and give him a good mile this week and see how he does with those versus the other hobbles. And Paul has a million hobbles, but they're just all kind of the same max length. And Coach Brooks just happens to have a really long, he reaches out. He reaches out a lot, which is a really good thing. Um, so that's the story. So he won't qualify this week. Paul wants to get those new hobbles in and give him a really good training mile, and then hopefully everything goes well. And then, the plan is next week. This is all normal dialing in the baby process. And this is what Paul does. This is what he does usually every year, pretty much. He's more of a July qualifier. You won't really see him qualify too much in June unless it's like a New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey only, like not Massachusetts, and they were perfect all winter, like completely perfect all winter. Other than that, if they're Massachusetts, you won't really see Paul qualify them in June or June or early July, really, unless they're like really exceptionally not showing any issues whatsoever. So, and usually they show something. So this is normal. So July, so let's hopefully everything goes well with the hobbles this week, and then next week, you know, we're looking at the 31st. Hopefully the 30, he's ready. Everything goes well this week, and the 31st on Friday next week for a baby race to qualify. So that's Coach Brooks. Um, that's really the news with him. Uh, Elle Est Belle. She's our new horse, which she's not on the website yet, but that's fine. We'll get her up this week. Just like I said, it's been a little hectic. She's racing today. She's making her debut at Saratoga. Of course, we get a 7 post first time out, but that's fine. I think she'll do really well in there. In that particular class, she fits it like a glove. So we just gotta hope that she doesn't have her gate speed. She's about average gate speed, so she doesn't have that Soho Skyfall Enola where she can blast off from the 7 post, and just fly right to the front. She doesn't have that. Which if she did, she probably would use it in this case. Um, so we'll see. She probably come off the pace and we'll see what happens. But she's like I said, she fits really well in here, and she should. I think she's going to do really well at Saratoga in that spot. She's better. She's a lot better than um a lot of those horses in that group. So, all right, that's Elle Est Belle Enola. She raced this Saturday, and similar to Beaueastel, she hit the board. And I didn't think she's a good horse. I didn't think she was going to hit the board. And be honest, I didn't think she was going to hit the board from the 9 post and 9 horses, full field, 9 horses, open trot. I just thought we were going to get a check, hoping for fourth or fifth. So, and here, Mike's leaving a little bit, and talking to Rob, we're glad that he didn't keep pushing just because. I mean, she could do it, but you just don't want to be put. You don't want to be blasting out to the lead every single time. Even yeah, other horses. It's a great asset when you do it. It's just if you do it too much, then you can make the horse mentally. The horse is like expecting it when they get to the gate, or when they get to the track, they're kind of expecting that they're going to be flying off the gate right out the bat, and it's just you want the horse to just be a professional and just do what they're asked. If they're asked to go off the gate, then they go off the gate. If they're asked to take back, they take back. That's kind of how Enola is. So she takes back, she takes back. So she knows like, all right, I'm taking back. So I'm going to be working. I'm going to be doing my work later. Um, and so the pace was actually pretty good here, which was I was a little surprised to see. I thought the pace was going to be a little lighter since we were all the way in the back. Um, Usually when the favorite's all the way in the back, or I guess we weren't the favorite. The five was the favorite, four to five. Um, and there she is making her move. Actually, he slowed it down really good. So 57 first half, he slowed it down really good in that second quarter. So that's why it's even more impressive that Enola somehow picked up a third. So there she is. She's following this the seven here, and that six horse Stormont Divide. We actually just well, we were very close to actually claiming that horse too 2 years ago at Yonkers 75,000. That's where they got him. They claimed him at Yonkers for 75,000. So just goes to show these are good horses. Anyway, so that's Enola. She's making her move right there. She's four wide up there in the back. And surprisingly, like here, I was surprised that the field kind of came back. Like I thought this field would keep kind of pushing here, and no, she was flying and she picked up third. That was a really good third. That was a really, really good third. Really, really, really good. Um, a lot of obviously we all want to win, but when you get a third like that coming off the pace or the nine posts in the open, you're living right. That's thank you, lucky stars. Take that every day of the week. So we'll see. She's in the box for next week. Hopefully they'll probably sign her again, but we'll see. Maybe they won't. So that's Nola. Um, Beaueastel, she is in to go on Wednesday at Batavia. We have Buter listed. We'll see if he goes over. And she has post six, and it's a good horse. The really good horse is in post seven. So I mean, it's not ideal. It's not ideal how she drew, especially let's pray the seven doesn't jump out because if the seven flies out, then you know where. Or I don't want to think about how the race is going to go. Let me not. I don't want to talk about how to. We all know that from the Beltolls isn't the greatest on the half, so let's just see how it goes. Meaning when I say that, meaning we got the six post, we're not going to be blasting off the gate. We're going to be coming off the pace and trying to do our damage off the pace. So that's going to be the game plan with her in this race. It's just how she is. She's just not. Every horse is different. You know. Look at this screen here, like um, trying to think of some. Beetlejuice. He looks good in the half. Soho Skyfall is good in the half. So yeah, like some horses are, some horses aren't, and from the Beltel, it's like that's her thing. But it's not a bad thing either. Like she's so good on the bigger tracks that she kind of makes up for it. So and Massachusetts is on the 5 ace track, and her final is going to be at Tioga for Excelsior. But that's her story. So she's racing Wednesday. We'll see if we get Buter or not, and yeah, we just need points. So we're just trying to get points for the Excelsior stakes, and um and that's that's kind of the game plan right now. Um, while we're talking, I'm actually pulling up the points just so we can see where we're at. All right. So we're talking, who are we talking? We're talking, who are we just talking again? Lost my train of thought. We're talking from the Bell Tolls. So she is Excelsior, 3-year-old pacing fillies. So this is the website, nyspoints.com. Pacing fillies. And she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. She's currently 11th in the standings. So she's meaning she is currently not in the final, not in the Excelsior final right now. So in other words, we got to get points. So we missed the Monticello leg because had a high liver. So she's only got 6 legs or 3 legs left, 4 legs left. So we just gotta make the most of it. And right now we're not in the final top 10, top actually not even 10. This is Tioga, the finals at Tioga. I think nine. I think they go with nine. So top nine go. So she's two horses out. She's 11th out of the ninth spot, which is the last spot. So gotta get points for her, and then let's keep that's her season. We gotta keep getting points and getting keep racing her. So that's from the Bell Tolls. Wednesday at Batavia. Geologic. Geologic. He raced. He came in second, and he he raced. Let's pull him up. I think he raced. I want to say. Okay, he raced on Monday. So let's cover him. Okay, he's like our heavy artillery. He doesn't race too much, but when he does, he shows up like a like a war horse. So there he is. He's the two horse. Brett Beckwith and Brett. Paul's giving Brett so much power between with all the Massachusetts horses. So Brett he usually sticks with us, which is huge. We're getting one of the best drivers in North America for the most part, almost every time on our horses. That's a game changer. That's a huge game changer. So there's Geologic getting to the front. Here I got scary. I got scared. So right here, like right there, you saw that little hop he did. I got scared. I thought he was gonna break right here. He's kind of like doing a little hoppy, hippity hoppity, and but he was fun. It's just how he is. He's just a kind of like a fiery horse. And there he is. He gets to the lead, and now he's trotting like a machine. I mean, he's like a Ferrari. He's just a trotting machine. He trots angry. You see how he trots? He just trots like he's all business. Like Adios My Lindy. She has like a more beautiful, like a graceful trot. He trots beautiful too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying he's just sometimes looks a little angry the way he steps. He puts he kind of reaches out. Like when he goes to that next gear, like right now he's going to that next gear, and he just kind of he just kind of trots angry. And by the way, that three, just so you all know, that three on Tap Lindy, who almost broke right there. By the way, that three almost broke. That three is on Tap Lindy's older brother. So Wallner, 3-year-old Wallner older brother. We got international money, 2-year-old younger brother, but that's his half brother. So um, and he does pop by us here, and this, by the way, him popping by us right here, that had nothing to, that had nothing to do with Geologic as far as like his ability. That horse beat us by nose. That horse went in 52, beat us by nose in 52. We went in 52, and that horse broke the track record for 3-year-old gelding trotters. So, in other words, if we would have won, we would have Geologic would have had the track record, playing rich track record for 3-year-old gelding trotters. So go figure. We get beat by nose, and then we don't, and then we also don't get the track record either. So, but he did it. He still went track record, so it shows you he's good. He doesn't have it officially, but we know he's powerful. Um, what was I gonna say about that? Oh, the big thing with that race is Brett says he's really good, obviously, and the big thing in the stretch right there was he's just remember Geologic hasn't raced that much. He only raced what 7 times as a 2-year-old, a couple times now as a 3-year-old. So you know that horse that snuck up on him on the side, he just didn't know. He just didn't know what to do, pretty much. In other words, Geologic got to the lead and just kind of started slowing down, not realizing he has to kind of keep trotting, and you know the horses are coming from. That's what happened. So he wasn't tired at all. So Geologic wasn't tired after that race. He was not used up. He didn't lose by being tired and being used up. He lost because he just didn't realize the horse was coming up from behind him, and he was just it's just kind of new to him. He'll figure it out as he goes on, that kind of stuff, and he'll kind of see them and as he goes on and know that he needs to fight them off, um, or keep trotting hard. But yeah, he's great. So do not think that's all he had. He didn't get beat fair and square. He just got, like I said, snuck up on him. He wasn't tired at all, so he had more in the tank. So that's Geologic. He won't be in next week. Same as Adios, it won't be in next week. And he's just Geologic's next race is August 15th, is Pennsylvania Sire Stakes. So just that's the target. So Paul is just trying to kind of ease his way into that. Don't want to race him like crazy into that. So we'll see if Paul skips this week and goes next week with him, or skips next week and goes the following week with him, or skips another week. We'll see. Paul's This is normal for managing stakes horses. So that's Geologic. All right, next horse, Gretzky the Great. And the only thing we're doing Gretzky the Great here is just mentioning that um, yesterday he was picked up by Purple Haze. So Purple Haze Retirement Foundation in in Vernon, New York. It's run by Wanda Policini. She wears like all purple. She has like white hair, older lady. She's been in horse racing forever. She uses like Tron Schmet. Well, forgetting his last name, Schmedhammer. I know I'm saying it wrong, but wow, don't getting a brain fart. But she's a George Ducharme as well, who's based up there in Vernon, and she runs a foundation for horses who cannot be racehorses anymore, like Gretzky. Gretzky just he's going to keep hurting himself. So he's not a candidate for like the Amish and things like that. They look for trotters and usually like black trotters. So he's obviously not. He's a brown pacer, and he's kind of a fiery one too. So meaning he's going to keep hurting himself. Even if you give him time to heal, he'll hurt himself again. So his career is over. So we'll see what the next plan is for him. I'm sure they're going to retrain him to be a riding horse and things like that. And um, that's his future. So he's in the Great Hump, and he's also second chapter is there too. Actually, second chapter, yeah, he's there too. So Gretzky and second chapter are both going to be there. Uh, and that's the story. So he's all done. It took a little longer than expected to get the paperwork and things like that for him signed off to go there. Believe it or not, it's not as simple as you think. Um, there's like a usually like these foundations like they usually ask for like some sort of like donation of like like three or four $500 for when you send a horse just to help them out with like to pay for the horse's hay and feed and things like that until they can get the horse retrained and rehomed. But Patty's working with Standardbred Transition Alliance with USTA. They have a program where they reimburse the owners who are giving horses to like Purple Haze. So that's gonna go on in the background. Um, but yeah, he is officially now as of last night, he is at Purple Haze and he is retired. So um, as far as billing, July, I think we might see some small stuff for him. I gotta check with Patty, see what she's planning on doing. We might see some small stuff. Let me check with her and see what she's doing. But other than that, the bills, the trading bills, all that stuff from Gretzky is over. So it's over. June was the last time. Um, and we try to avoid these. Horses are like just get injured and like that, and then you retire them. They won't be the last. That's why you try to make these as few and far between as possible, and then just try to avoid them. And we will. He won't be the last one. I'm sure we're gonna get other horses in his situation. So that's why Charlie and I always say, just hang in there. Make sure you diversify. You do not know which horse is going to be the next great horse and which horse is going to be the next, injured horse like Gretzky was when he got injured. So just keep that in mind about when we say diversify, when we recommend diversifying, that's a great example. Um, because it could happen to any horse, what he was dealing with. So so that's his story. So that's Gretzky the Great. Let's move on to the next horse. Invictus. He he raced last week. I'm not even going to show it. He raced from the eight post. He finished sixth place, and so um it was first of all I would say it was surprising that he even got the eight post. Um well, let me phrase it. He got the eight post last week because he won the previous time, so that was fine. And then we came in sixth place. Now he has the eight post tomorrow again at Monticello. So we I was talking to Rob about that, so we're gonna see what the plan is for Invictus. Just because we talked, Rob talked to the race secretary, so he it's a little interesting how they do the opens over there at Monticello. Like it's not as clear as every other open. Like every other open, they'll say like with Enola, they'll say Enola was assigned a 9 hole. At Monticello, they don't say which horse was assigned, so you got to call. So. Um, Rob's been talking to the race secretary just to understand like how did Invictus possibly get the eight post again? After we didn't get a check last week from the eight post, how did he possibly get the eight post again? Um, so and I think going forward, we might see some more consistency with the opens, with the Monticello opens, is what I'm trying to get at. As far as the draws, usually the winner gets the eight post, usually the second place horse usually gets the seven post, and then everybody else is an open draw. That's usually how it goes. But it's not consistent. So we saw that with Invictus. Memento Mori, we got lucky because it was an open draw. They gave him the four post, but Invictus, that was ridiculous. So we gave him a call. I don't think that's going to happen anymore with our horses in general, as far as like the inconsistency with the draws. But Invictus and specifically, we'll see what he can do on Tuesday from the eight post. But specifically, we're gonna just keep thinking about what we want to what's the best spot for him? Maybe it is Monticello Open, maybe not. Well, we're gonna keep looking at him, but yeah, that draw was very disappointing. The eight post, it was very disappointing. So we did talk to them, and I don't think that's gonna happen anymore with our horses as far as the inconsistency. They will get assigned the eight post if they win, but talking about the inconsistency after that, after they don't win, how do they get draw? So that's Invictus. So we'll go from there. Rosa, just Rosa's luck. So let's do just Rosa's luck. I do want to show this only because this was unfortunately in this case it was the drive. Um, so not every horse race is different. So she's the three horse, Rosa's three horse. We actually that one was the favorite and broke. We actually liked that one, but as you can tell, that one's got some issues. The three there we are pushing to the front. And that was perfect. We're sitting the 2 hole. I think we're eventually going to sit the 3 hole. Um, but these two horses, the four and I think the four is a bomb. I want to say, and the six was like 7-1, the same as us. Um, so we were sitting third here, and because the six took so long to retake, and I think they were motoring in like 27 flat or something like 26 and four. That's too fast for Mike to retake. To retake with Rosa. So then that first half will be in like 54 or something like that, and then she'll be spent. So there she is sitting third. Here is where this is what gets us right here. So here you see her head's on the left shoulder. Her head really should have been more on the right shoulder. And then we can swing out first over right here at the half. It looks like Mike was thinking about that, and he tried to make the move, and then the two horse came and blocked him in, and then Rosa, she was climbing over the horse in front of her. She was trying to kind of squeeze out. Either Rosa was or Mike was trying to squeeze her out. It might have been Rosa because she did that before, and that was it. So the rest of the race, she's just swallowed up and pushed all the way to the back. The horse that was first over gets to the lead, and that was that. So I, mean, I don't even want to. This is like a slow train wreck to watch. At this point, she lost all her momentum, and she's just racing for a check at this point. And even then, there's nowhere to go. And yeah, it happens. The only reason I just wanted to show that race because our drivers, they do a great job for us, but they're human too. So that's gonna happen every now and then. So we just gotta live with it. We The horse was good. She came out fine. Had nothing to do with the horse. It's just she never had a chance. So uh, she fits. She actually, and the other thing with Rosa is that class was a level up from where we put her. So we put her in now winners 6,000. That was now winners 8,000, and that's the second time. I think the second time in a row they did that to her. Now she fits two levels below. So now she fits. She was just a non winners 8,000. Now she fits non winners of 4,500 to a double drop. So that's gonna where we're going next. Tioga Downs. She can double drop, and we just need. the race secretary to work with us there and put her in the race that we put her, 4,500. That's the race we want her. So she fits. It's a really good spot. Let's just hope that she gets in. That's just Rose's luck. All right, Ma's always right. Ma's always right. She's um she had that oscillate on her right front ankle, which is like kind of like a form of arthritis that that she was dealing with, and that's actually been resolved now, so that's not an issue anymore. She's still though in training. She's kind of like hanging on the left side of the bike. They're kind of like leaning on it, which is not typical. Um, so that's telling Paul that she might there's something bugging her. Not he's not quite sure exactly what it is. So he just wants his vet to just take a look at her and just to make sure that there's nothing um major uh going on with um with her in general. So that's kind of the plan with her. So she won't be she's kind of dealing with that thing on the bike, so she won't be qualifying this week. So it's we're going to be hoping that everything is we're gonna hope that everything kind of squares away by next week. So it might be like a stifle that's bothering her, where she needs like an injection or a hock. So that's where Paul is thinking, and this is all normal, like we're saying, just dialing in these horses. So that's her story, just trying to dial her in, um, and I'm just trying to think. And then with her in general, that's her story. It's just she's getting close, she's getting really close. Got the oscillate taken care of, and now we'll just let's get that work done. Get a vet looking at her, make sure there's no major things, and then move on. So that's her story for this week. So she won't qualify this week, and while Paul's working on her stifles or whatever it is, that's kind of like might need an injection, um, which is normal at this point. At this, they've been in training since September, October, November, so um, some soreness is expected, and you just gotta once you see it, you just gotta find it. Hopefully, find the right area and target it and go from there. So that's Ma's always right. Um, and we'll hear more by next week's update, and hopefully by next week's update, she got the work done by the vet, and hopefully she trains great after it, and hopefully we get the word that she's ready to qualify. But same thing with like we said with some of the other horses is she's Massachusetts eligible, so there's not really like a rush to qualify her and things like that because her Massachusetts races are in September. Um, but obviously it's always good, you always want to get some experience and things like that before those Massachusetts. So um so she's doing okay, and uh let's just get that work done, and then hopefully things kind of start falling in line for Friday next week. Hopefully she'll be in good shape to qualify, but we'll see. And that's like I said, this is to be expected. So we're getting really close. All right, Ma's always right. Memento Mori, he broke from the eight hole, and I'm not going to do the replay of that because he broke behind the gate. And that's just so he's in without getting into details, him and Uncle Rat, they're decent. They're not decent. They're quirky trotters. They're not. They're. We wish they were all push button like Enola and just Rose's luck and stuff. And Beaueastel, you just show up to the track and they're not all like that. So she's uh um he's you gotta get him get his nose on the gate, and from the eight hole is always tricky because you gotta kind of get to the gate really soon, a lot quicker than the other horses to get out there and get your nose on the gate. So if you don't get his nose on the gate and you try to rush up and you're like rushing him to get to the gate, sometimes he breaks. So we've seen that before. He got the four post on Wednesday in Monticello Open. So um, obviously the inside. So with the inside, it's a lot less of that to deal with as far as getting up and getting your nose on the gate. So we'll see how we go. So it looks like a good spot. Um, and like I said with Invictus, we made sure this was an open draw. Not made sure. We just um, we gave a call to Monticello just make sure we understand what the like what if there's any sort of like what's it, like a model for for when they do the from draws and stuff, and when they assign the horses. Every open's different, so we just try to understand. So, um, but yeah, he obviously he had an open draw, so he got the four post, and we'll go from there. So he fits well, and uh he's doing well. So even after he broke, so just to say, like even after he broke last week, he still somehow ended up catching the whole field and ended up only losing by like 5 lengths, which is ridiculous. So it just goes to show what kind of he's feeling good. Um, but yeah, so Monticello, that's where he's at Wednesday, open four post, and it looks like a good spot. All right, next horse is Northern Attitude, and Northern Attitude is just he's just turned out right now in Binghamton with Allie with Ship's Revenge, and he's just hanging out there for a bit. Uh, and then the game plan for him is just bring him back in some point. I want to say it's like mid-August or early August, and then we'll start training with him and um, get him going to qualify. Hopefully early October. So that's Northern Attitude. He's doing fine. On Tap Lindy. On Tap Lindy is he trained also last week with Coach Brooks in 209, and he his thing is the next day when he jogged, he was a little bit stiff on his front right knee. So Paul thinks his front right knee that he was a little, or one of his knees, his front knees were a little stiff the next day. So he's just gonna get some work, also get some vet work done. Um, whether he might need an injection on his knees, maybe a different type of injection, maybe it's not. They have like enzyme and acid and stuff and different types of medication that they give these cortisone that they give these horses for to help with sore joints and stuff like that. So so he's gonna check with the vet just to see what else is available for on tap Lindy. I mean I say he's stiff walking onto the track. And then he warmed up out of it immediately and he jogged and trained fine. So it's just more to help them out, just to help them, when they don't have to deal with so much aches and pains and things like that. You're just trying to help them out a little bit. So um um so that's his story, and Paul just wants to make sure like there's nothing structurally uh like a hair. You never want to make sure like there's no like a hairline fracture or things like that, which I just went to the extreme. I'm not saying there is, but in young horses with 2-year-olds, um, whenever they're sore or stiff like that, you just want to make sure you just get some ultrasounds and radiographs just to make sure the bones and stuff are good, and then you kind of keep proceeding. So that's all Paul's doing for On Tap Lindy this week is just getting the vet, take a look at those knees, get them radiographed or ultrasound, just so that Paul he knows that it's just stiff and there's nothing structurally an issue with it. And then yeah, then he'll get some bet, he'll get an injection probably in the knees, and then hopefully he trains well. Hopefully he trains well this week, and then if he trains well next week, hopefully he can qualify as well on the 31st. So um like I said, don't hold me to it. We're just kind of like that's kind of where he's at. He's getting close. So that's his story. So we'll just see what um hopefully obviously everything goes well this week with the vet, and then we'll go from there with On Tap Lindy. All right, so that's him. So nothing, no qualifier this week, and for On Tap Lindy to be, um, if he'll get a qualifier, it'll be next week. Because just want to get those knees looked at, more for precaution reasons. All right, so that's On Tap Lindy. Seen Lindy. She is training, so she did her first doubleheader up in Vernon, and she's been doing well. As far as back in training, and that's it. We're just with her. The big deal is just praying things go perfectly. She doesn't really have a lot of room for error because she needs to be ready for September for Massachusetts. So the way everything works out, she will be like she'll have a qualifier or two before September. So we just got to keep hoping things progress normally without any sort of issue and keep moving forward. So that's her story. She's in training and she's it looks like whatever she was dealing with is at least, to right now is not an issue. So she's looking good. So keep our fingers crossed. She keeps moving along. That's Seen Lindy. All right, Ship's Revenge. Ship's Revenge is still in Binghamton, New York, and turned out nothing new to note on her. Um, except um, just in general, I would think the next 3, 4 months not gonna really have too many updates. 3, 5 months, just and then hopefully this just baby keeps growing and we just kind of keep motoring on. So she's living a good life up there. So that's Ship's Revenge. Oh wow, I skipped Seven Seagrams. Ship's Revenge. Seven Seagrams. Seven Seagrams is in the box today. She is in the box today for Vernon Downs on Friday for a maiden race, non-winners of one. So she is in the box to make her debut on Friday at Vernon Downs for a maiden non-winners of one trot. And so congratulations to Seven Seagrams owners. It's been a long journey to get to this point, and um, just want to get her over there. They're going like 57, 58. They usually race first like 3-year-olds too, but they're not going too fast, so it's a Rob sticking. It's a decent spot to get her a little bit quicker. Probably doing like 57, 58. Um, just get kind of stretch her out a little more, and then the goal is after that race, she has New Jersey Sire Stakes next week on Friday or Saturday at Meadowlands, Silver Division, third leg. So so that's the big news with Seven Seagrams. She is in to go today for Vernon Downs Friday non-winners one maiden trot to make her debut and stretch her out and get her rolling. So that's Seven Seagrams. So congrats everyone, and I'm excited for that. Soho Skyfall. Let's do Soho Skyfall. He raced yesterday, and he was awesome. He was awesome. Just like I was talking to somebody about Soho, and they're talking about the classes for him, and for him, it's not really the class. It's for him. It's just it's the horse. The horse. He's just there. He is blasting off to the front right there, and that is above average to elite gate speed. I don't want to say elite because elite's kind of like you're flying out there always to the front, like and you defeat anybody. I would say it's definitely above average. I don't know if I put it elite, but I would say above average. Let's just say he has a definitely above average, borderline elite gate speed. And I'll say, let's just say above average because in the half, it's not like he flies out and crushes everyone to the front. So I'll say above average gate speed. But that's what you can do when you got the above average gate speed, you fly out right to the front and you can get position. So that's why he's a good horse. And that's one of the big reasons he's a good horse. Is not it's hard to find horses who can do that, and people don't want to sell those types. So there he is on the front and he's just at this point he's just cruising. And I personally I didn't think it was going to be this easy. So 56 and one first half, um, which is a very strong first half. I mean, these horses can do 54 and change first halves, but even 55s easily. But it's a solid 56 first half. I think it was a little chilly this day today. When I say chilly, I mean like 67 degrees. I think maybe not, could be wrong, but I think it was a little on the cooler side. Um, 28 third quarter he just did. So yeah, he's just putting away. And this right here, when he just motors away from them, like that almost brought a tear to my eye. It's just this is what we like to see. Like that horse that came in behind him, the six horse, that's a war horse. That's a war horse that's racing at Poconos and like 30 claimers, going in 50, 51 every week. So these aren't bad horses. And he's 52 and one, and he kind of put him away easily. So he's back in to go next week at Tioga. And yeah, Mike Merton said he did great. So he wasn't like hippity hoppity or anything. He was very fluid in his gait, and he was just kind of like he's just a regular good horse. So hopefully we see more of that. And it looks like that abscess. Thank goodness gracious that abscess that he had in his foot was the issue. Where he was all wonky and stuff and breaking, and then that weird race where he didn't do anything. you know, thank goodness. So he's a good horse, and I'm very happy that even like well now when there's 3,000 a race, yeah, but he beat good horses because those better horses than you would think in that level, and how he did it was was really good. Like that's our horse. So let's hopefully more of that keeps coming. So he's back in the box Wednesday for Sunday at Tioga, and we'll keep things rolling with him. So he's really nice to see that. All right, and that's Solar Queen. So Solar Queen, let's move on to her. She raced last week, and she was really nice. Um, when I say nice, meaning for this level, for Excelsior. I'm not saying she's Grand Circuit, but she's the four horse here behind the starting car with Jordan Stratton, and this she was flying to the front right here, and she doesn't break through the turn. So you see how she flies to the front and it doesn't break through the turn. That five breaks. That move, and you see how she was this 2, 3 lengths in front of the other horses. That right there, that ability to do that right there in New York for Excelsior and stuff, like that's gonna separate that right here. That right there is gonna put her in the top three, top five of her divisions, because it seems simple, but it's very difficult for a 2-year-old trotter to blast off the gate, blast through the turn, through that sharp first turn, and keep trotting. So that she's still trotting. So she's getting around the turns really. And you see how she keeps separating, like there's another length around that one, and that's what she is. Um we saw it in training. She's on the straightaways. She can sometimes get a little hippity hoppity. Um, so that's why it'd be interesting to see her. I'll be curious to see when she's at Vernon. But you see on the turns here, look, she's so good on the turns. All these horses, she's gaining on all these horses. They're like trying to catch up to her on the turns. So, like that two was slowing down the turns. Now on the straightaway, the two starting to, you know, make some on the straightaway, starting to make some headway to us. But at this point right here, so this right here in the final turn, this is the most beautiful work of art right here. It's almost like Jordan knew she was good, and then once he gets to his final turn, he just starts motoring it, and that three, which was the favorite, as you can see, Solar Queen was so good, she just put that horse away. She this is this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And then that one horse that shoots up the rail, I think that one horse was a $135,000 yearling. We were a $20,000 yearling, and that three horse is another Chapter 7. We went in 202 and one, which was 2 seconds faster than the other Excelsior division, and in the New York Sire Stakes, it actually would have been like um more like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, like bottom 10, bottom top 10 in New York Sire Stakes. That's how good she was. So, but she we're not saying she's Sire Stakes, but she's really good where she fits. So she's rolling next. Um, I want to say at Vernon. Um, let's see. She is rolling next on uh Friday the 31st. So she is Friday the 31st at Tioga Downs for her next leg of the Excelsior for Solar Queen. So we'll see how she does in there. But yeah, it's at least on the half, which most of New York is a half. Looks like she's a little bit of a half mile specialist, which is nice. And it's good to see the Mets Halls. The Mets Halls are doing well this year, actually, in general. So it's good to see them doing well. So that's Solar Queen. Uncle Rat, last but not least, he was in Vernon Downs in the Open, 5 horse field. He's the 5 horse, Chris Long. This was on Friday, and that the favorite is we're the favorite, and the 3 horse is the second favorite. 3 horse is the morning line favorite, Chapvius. And Chapvius, she's I want to say 3 or 4 year old, maybe 4 or 5 year old by now. Crazy wow trotting mare. And she's just she races pretty much in the Open in Vernon all the time. Just crushing it. She just crushes it. And she's for good reason. She's a good horse. So, pretty sure she was a pretty decent sire stakes horse, as a 2 or 3 year old, or maybe both 2 and 3 year olds. I do remember that horse. Um, there we are sitting fifth or fourth, Chris Long. Um, and he knows exactly. He knows well. He knows what kind of like the tendencies now with this horse. Because he's driven him now for a while. So there he is sitting fourth, and the big thing with this race was the strategy for the three was to slow it down in the first half and make a sprint, which is fine. You know, so 59 and 4. So this whole first half was like a snail. I think this race ends up going in like 56 and 1 or something like that. So it's just really slow first half for an open. So basically it was a sprint for the whole second half of the way. And Uncle Rat he actually he rose to the occasion. So he rose to the occasion as far as the sprint. We wanted to see him on a mile. I mean, it's a 7/8 track, but pretty big, so almost a mile. So he's never raced on a big track in his entire life, so we just wanted to see how he looks, because sometimes horses can take a big step forward if you take them from one track to the other. So right here, this finish was amazing. It looks like Chris Long, once he got him straightened out, he just asked and he just he just blew right on by. So, that's it was a nice surprise. I didn't think he was going to win that easy. Um, it was good to see a couple of the owners in the winner's circle, and he's back in the box for next week, so on Friday. So that was didn't I thought he was racing for second place going in, and then when he the way after he won, I was like, wow, all right, he was that I didn't think he was going to put those horses away that easily. I didn't think so. So so he was good. So he was very good, excellent. So that was a he just took down the Vernon Downs Open, and which can get difficult. You got those Ducharme horses sitting up there, and they're pretty good. So well done for the Uncle Rat fans. He's back in the box, and we'll kind of keep things rolling. Um, so okay. So with that being said, this is the update for the week. It was a long update, but a lot going on. So all right, everyone, have fun this week. Good luck, and take care. Thank you.